Forgive me. I saw this bill come up on the screen here, and I was walking by, and I don't even have a copy of it in front of me, but I do recall that it is a very short bill, about a paragraph long. I understand this is just a study, but the notion that we would have a study that prohibits a legal entity, thank you, from being able to conduct business in the state of Connecticut simply because they're a private equity company really strikes me as unusual, and I'd like to get to the bottom of it. Is there some indication through you, Madam President, that a private equity company is not equally capable of running a particular type of business as anyone else?
Senator Cabrera.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you for the question, sir. Yes, this was an outgrowth of actually a large article that was in the New Yorker magazine, an expose on some of the practices of private equity buying up hospice care homes, LLCs throughout the state of Connecticut. Pretty extensive article, and my concern was making sure that that wasn't happening here in Connecticut, and we thought it would be good to study this issue and to see if, in fact, private equity is buying up hospice care facilities, LLCs, in the state of Connecticut, and see if there's some of the similar abuses that are going on. And it's fairly agnostic in nature, and I think after speaking to Ranking and other folks on the committee, we thought it'd be something we should look at and see where it goes. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Cabrera. Will you remark further, Senator Sampson?
Thank you very much, Madam President, and I appreciate that answer. And certainly no one wants to see, a lack of quality care in any healthcare arena, particularly in hospice care in the state. But it seems quite arbitrary to suggest that a particular type of entity, we could easily be saying, an LLC or an S corporation or a mom and pop shop should not be engaged. Now, I understand there's an amendment that just went through changing the word banning to impact, but the intent is clear, and it's the same. It's to imply that somehow a private equity company is incapable of properly running a hospice hospital situation. And I'm flabbergasted, to be totally honest with you, because we don't judge people based on arbitrary factors. People are different and businesses are different. And I'm quite certain that there are going to be certain private equity companies that would do an even better job than some other types of entities. And it seems counterproductive and a very significant and somewhat potentially unconstitutional provision to be suggesting that if you are engaged in business as a particular type of business entity, that you are less inclined to provide quality service. I find it offensive, and I apologize to the proponents of the bill. I understand their intentions are good, that they're simply trying to protect people. I get that. But this is not the way to protect people. What we want to do is punish people that actually engage in bad behavior. And we should have laws to protect people that are being treated in a hospice care system. We should not be arbitrarily saying, oh, you're a private equity firm, no dice. You don't get to participate because other people like you are bad. That's terrible. We don't do that for any reason. We try our hardest to make sure that we are treating people respectfully, regardless of their background or superficial qualities. And that goes for corporations, too. I will be a no on this, and I urge my colleagues to reject the notion that we can tell whether someone's a good player or a bad actor in a business arena simply based on the type of company they are. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator. Will you remark further on the bill? Senator Marks.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I rise in support of this bill. I have been a hospice nurse. I'm not sure anybody else here has. You want the company, a hospice company that is taking care of the citizens of Connecticut, to be engaged in the community, to be part of the not-for-profits. You want to make sure it's a not-for-profit because hospice care can be profitable, and then you're not taking very good care of those that are dying at home. I have seen it happen, and it's not okay. So this is an excellent bill, And someday we all will have loved ones dying, and being able to have your loved one die at home is such a blessing. And you want the nurse there to be a hospice certified nurse, not just to be any nurse off the street. You want the director of that company to be somebody that is in your company, sitting on the different boards and agencies in your towns and municipalities. So with all due respect to the good senator, I hope he never has to deal with hospice care, but when he does, he will want to know that that nurse that he has and the physician that she is calling are part of their community and not somebody living out in Arizona. I thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator. Will you remark further, Senator Sampson?
Thank you very much, Madam President. I apologize for rising for the second time, but there's just a couple of things that I've got to add to my previous comments, particularly that the notion that somehow a for-profit endeavor is somehow a negative thing. Or is going to adversely impact the quality of care. We live in the greatest, most prosperous country in the world because it is a for-profit country. You know, all of the advances that have happened in medicine have happened because of the profit motive. That's where they came from. And I know we debate things in this circle all the time about how we're going to regulate the cost of certain types of healthcare, the certain types of drugs. We're going to put caps on the cost of certain types of drugs. Those are very dangerous things to do. Because once you start taking the profit motive out of providing health care and providing quality care, you're going to have less people involved in doing it. And you're going to have less people interested in trying to create advancements that benefit us all. And I'm telling you, if we never had for-profit health care and for-profit hospitals and for-profit hospice centers, then there would be probably none of them left. They only exist because there is a profit to be made. And the profit motive ensures that only the people that do the best possible job at it are the ones that succeed. So the suggestion that somehow the profit motive is somehow adversely impacts the quality of a business is a very dangerous thing to do in America. It shows a complete contempt for what this country is. This country was built on the backs of people that took risk to come up with ideas to benefit themselves, yes. But in the process of benefiting themselves, they've benefited all of us as well. Because if people didn't invent things, if people didn't come up with new cures, then they would not exist. And if you don't have a reason to create those things, then you won't. This is America. This is a free market country. This is a capitalist country. This is not a socialist country, and it will not be if I can help it. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator.